Welcome back, everyone. We're doing YouTube stuff. Oh, that awful message gets sent out again. That's wonderful. Let's call this youtubin. And then change this also to youtubin. So we're going down the list that y'all made. We're gonna see what else there is. A lot of artists are hesitant to switch over to Twitter, and I get that. Hey, Lesbian Train, how you doing? Thank you for the 47 months of support. It did not cut. That's okay. It cut for Twitch. So if it didn't cut for YouTube, that's fine.
We're heading out. All aircraft report. You worry about your own hide. Enemy down! Wait, that was one of ours!
Don't worry. Slippy's here.
Oh, yeah, you can't see.
What the?
Sorry. Forgot to switch the thing.
Heck?
If you went to school in the 90s or early 2000s, you probably recognize this style of art.
I fucking hated
But you
it.
probably don't know the name of the artist that created it.
Yes.
These iconic designs, which adorned classroom workbooks, posters, and school supplies, were created by Carson DeLosa, a company founded by two elementary school teachers. Patty Carson and Janet DeLosa were elementary school teachers in Ohio.
How are
when
the
they
audio levels, by the
discovered that
way?
incorporating games into their teaching yielded impressive results.
Yeah.
Before long, they were teaching other teachers how to make their lessons more engaging. In the years to follow, the two collaborated on a book, but no matter how hard they tried, they couldn't get any publishing company to publish it. Instead of giving up, Carson and DeLosa decided to open up a publishing company in their basement, with Carson's husband Steve handling the finances. Eventually, the book that they created was discovered by publishing giant Macmillan at a trade show, and the company decided to buy 30,000 copies.
Jesus.
Over the years, Carson DeLosa would move from Ohio to North Carolina, and the company would hire illustrators, editors, advertising representatives, and grow massively. While these iconic illustrations with their wide faces and gigantic smiles were originally drawn by Carson and DeLosa, new artists were trained to recreate their style. The company was doing millions of dollars in revenue by the 90s and offered nearly 300 different products. In the late 90s, Carson DeLosa was sold for $22 million in cash and $16 million in stock. Today, Janet DeLosa is retired and makes and sells her art online, and Patty and Steve Carson are involved in philanthropy.
Cool.
Their classroom artwork and supplies are indelible parts of going to elementary school in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, and they've definitely not gotten the credit that they deserve.
Oh, that's it? Okay. So you said after this one, there's a copyright claim. If I skip to Smash Brothers Bronx, we'll be okay? Okay. Actually, this one might be copyright as well. Yeah, can we not put copyright stuff in here? You can, but they aren't copyrighted though. Vinny played both of them fine. That is not evidence of them being fine. The Brawl one is specifically not. Okay. This used to be on the autopilot. Dodo.
出る出るゼルダの伝説出る出る出る出るついに出るゴージャス今度の冒険リアル君もすぐに体験憎いでやんすね昆虫ショー高画質の謎解きアクション戸惑うことなくのめり込もうもちのろんスーパーファミコン知らず知らずと真剣勝負今宵もゼルダは最高潮スーパーファミコンゼルダの伝説ついに出る
Wild. So I've muted it for y'all. Do 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 do. Hello, Mario. This is it, Luigi. I'm doing my best to imitate it so you guys can have something close. Bum ba dum. Gee, sure is boring around here. My boy, this peace is what all true warriors strive for. Samus sounds.
And you gotta help.
Come back with little Richard.
Come back with little Richard?
Sorry to jet, but I'm in a hurry. Open the wings. Come on! I'll take the sky any day.
I hope you made lots of spaghetti.
Good faces.
Are you gonna listen to that monkey?
Oh! What?
Jeez Louise, what is... Again? Gee, I've been saved by Fox. How swell.
Consider Lupe.
I don't think so. The eclipse.
Better not let the dark side win.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Whoa!
Show me your moves.
No doubt.
Rock and roll.
Kick.
Man, there's just no end to these guys.
Who do you think you are?
The ultimate platform.
Get out of here! Good luck!
I'll take this. Get the one behind you.
The drawings are good. The bit's good. Hey. That's stupid. The potato probably could use a little bit longer in the oven because it's a little crunchier in the middle, but it's fine. I did not wrap. I did wrap it in tinfoil, yes, actually. This is a sweet potato with corn and some sauce on it.
You've got to be kidding.
It's been one of those days.
Sometimes these get claimed anyway. Do we know any of these names? Aside from that guy you know?
Time to show the monkeys who's boss.
Okay.
All right.
Sheesh, Falco. You too.
Pipe down, Slippy. This is horrible.
Yeah, it's you two. What do you want, man? Bruce Springsteen is just, I don't know, man. The boss. Falco's taste in music was shit. What does G-Subs even taste like?
Nothing to say, nothing to do. Gonna buy me a bottle of this thrift store shampoo. Nowhere to sleep, there's nowhere to dream. Gonna buy me a bottle of this thrift store beauty cream. There's nowhere to swim, I'm not near an ocean, but I'm gonna buy me this big old tube of thrift store hand lotion. Look at that, smell it. Thrift store shampoo, thrift store beauty cream, thrift store hand lotion.
Can we ban whoever posted this? This is fucking shit. Who is this for? Is it supposed to be good? I think we've seen this one before, but I mean, we're gonna see it again. We're not doing 13 minutes of it. Who doesn't like some wet tits?
Who is Calliope Haystacks?
Where is Calliope Haystacks going? What is Calliope Haystacks doing? Does Calliope Haystacks have arms? Answer all of these questions and more by watching.
Did you hear that New York Post that the New York Post says that big boobs are over? So like, that's an opinion, man. What is the context for that? I'm up here, boy. I just searched New York Post big because I didn't want to put big boobs. Is it like a woke thing or? You know what? This is a private window search, I believe. New York Post big boobs. I had 9 surgeries to get huge boobs and a big butt. Okay. Well, I mean, sometimes it's like that. You gotta get a lot of... I'm not seeing this article. My boobs ballooned to a gigantic size due to a rare condition. Here it is. This is from 2016. This is not a new post. Big boobs are over. Yeah, this is a called shot. Very wrong called shot. 2 years ago. Okay, so who? Raquel? Who is this? Okay. Don't put booba on stream. They're from Shutterstock, and we're discussing the article. 2 years ago when Gwen, whatever, I just wanted to do something good for myself, she said, so she decided to get breast implants. Despite her friends to urge her to go big, she decided on more subtle enhancement. Well, as always, small-chested, okay. Size B, you can wear anything from D to B is the perfect size. I can wear things that are low cut, look sexy, not matronly, and if you want to look bigger, you can just wear a push-up bra. So like, if you're anything bigger than a B, you can't wear that. So the thing is that she's saying B size boobs is best boobs. You don't have to get into this tangent, no. Okay. I mean, sure.
Calliope Haystacks. There's action, adventure, intrigue, and pie. Yes, pie.
Why isn't there ass cup size? Because we
Calliope Haystacks.
Don't do pants.
Presented for your viewing pleasure in glorious...
Honestly, women's pants are stupid as shit. So you think there's going to be like any sort of reasonable sizing for the ass? Like, they do not... They don't give a shit. Do you know what they do for like... women's pants? It's just a random fucking number. Like 2. What is 2? 2 what? What is this? Some weird thing. And then chat's asking why there isn't a thing for why women's pants don't have specific sizes for that. So there's that. Women's pants are stupid.
Black, white, and 1,000 shades of grey. There's dark grey, light grey, exceedingly dark grey, and many more different greys. Well, that's it. This is the end of the Calliope Haystacks trailer.
Worthless information. Cool. Thanks. I think that's The Offspring, isn't it? This is DMCA. All right, I'm skipping it because it didn't follow the rules.
Stay tuned, because Stairway to Stardom is next with Frank Massey.
On the Stairway to Stardom, you see...
Is it DMCA? Yes, it's DMCA, even if it's a Crazy Taxi. If you can buy a CD of it, it is DMCA, most likely. They paid to use the license. I have not paid to use the license, so it's still a problem.
Tomorrow starts today on the Stairway to Stardom. We're here to brighten up your day. We've got singers and dancers and actors performing for you. But there's more, so much more, and it's all right here for you.
If it was just money, I wouldn't care. But the fact that people can't see the stream is huge.
On the Stairway to Stardom, we'll entertain with talent and style. On the Stairway to Stardom, we've got
Intro song is pretty good.
shows beat by a mile. On the Stairway to Stardom, on the Stairway to Stardom, on the Stairway to Stardom, on the Stairway to Stardom.
That bass line's pretty like.
On the Stairway to Stardom.
We've seen it. The sun. Okay. Space sounds. After this video, I'm gonna go put up my plate. Welcome back, Skriddle. Mercury. I think you could put it up while this plays. Yeah, none of these are going to be real, is it? She's going to be Uranus. Six. Nyx. Where's Uranus? Yeah, enjoy this random sounds. Hi, boy. Excuse me. like the space sounds? We're skipping this. Do you want to go to space? I'm already there. Can we have the stream chat layout? If y'all want.
Intellectual Eric prides himself on being a connoisseur of arts and creativity, from gravestones to ballet.
I think I'm well read. I think I'm well spoken. I think I'm well above average. It is important to me to carry myself in a manner where people are going to say, you know what, he knows what he's doing.
Was the person editing this fucking with the guy? Because you cannot put that together like that.
Intellectual Eric prides himself on being a connoisseur of arts and creativity, from gravestones to ballet.
I think I'm well read. I think I'm well spoken. I think I'm well above average. It is important to me to carry.
I think I'm well above average. Come on, man. Don't talk like that. Yes, we can pause the thing. Give me half a second and I'll pause it right now. Where is the media share? Lock thread. There we go. That should do. Nah, it should be locked. We can add more stuff later. Once it starts getting low, let me know and I'll reopen it.
Carry myself in a manner where people are going to say, you know what, he knows what he's doing.
That's brutal.
This crabby guy keeps ruining my snacks. No, I don't got anything to...
Dead.
Is this a new snack?
Yeah.
And are you my new best friend?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. You want to go look for buried treasure?
Yeah.
Treasure?
Yeah.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Hi, sorry. Yeah, I really didn't want to wake you up upon this.
I'm 100% positive we've seen this one. Fine, we'll watch it again.
Midnight dreary, but I just had to. I gotta ask you, where's the milk at? I was looking in the fridge and it's not there. It's not there, and I've just been looking, and I need it to sleep.
The milk?
I can't sleep without my warm milk. It's part of the process. Oh, you've never seen me before. Sorry. I'll reintroduce. Hi, I come from your floorboards. I'm like a floorboard gang. You know, is that kind of thing.
I see.
Anyway, where's the milk? Is there a second fridge? Do you have a second?
No,
fridge?
there's no more milk.
Okay, blink once if you have a second fridge. Okay, gotcha. Well, can you please go to the store and get some more milk soon? I can't go outside for a number of reasons. Okay, thank you. Good night.
Okay. We've seen Curtis, the drug-free snake. Is this a new one?
With only a 10% chance of rain. So you'd better get out the suntan oil. Wanda?
Oh, it's a sequel. Okay, good, good.
The drug trafficking trial of the Mongoose enters its second day today. All eyes will be on the district attorney who has been hinting of a possible surprise witness. Defense attorney Penelope has told reporters she will push for dismissal of all charges against her client if the state fails to make its case during this session.
It won't be long now, Kurt, before the Mongoose is behind bars where he belongs.
I like that freak on the
You and
left.
Officer Patrick did a good job finding that witness. When she gets through telling her story,
She's
will
gonna
be
get killed.
one less drug pusher to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
One less. You're right. But there always seems to be another slimy character ready to take his place.
This is historically the problem that police have with, you know, like you cut one down, you empower all the other ones, or you leave a power vacuum and a demand for more drugs. So like someone else is going to step up to the plate because they need the money or they want to get rich fast.
Then you'll get him too, and any more that come along.
Thanks, Floaty.
It's a life's
Just
work
remember,
because it's
this is a big
solving
city.
the
It will take a lot
symptom
more than
rather
one
than the
witness
problem.
And one Officer Patrick to help us clean it up. Drugs and alcohol are everywhere.
Don't be so gloomy,
It
pal.
is a bit of a systematic
This
issue,
is a
yes.
start.
Look, I know you're right.
There's
okay? I just feel a lot.
Hold on. I think it's like God, what is the name of that video? There's a video where it's about I went undercover as a drug dealer. This guy.
He shut the door, stood on the toilet and looked over the top of the cubicle and said, "What's this?" As soon as he said that, the door burst open again and these four hooded figures came in and they started walking around me. Slowly. And as they were walking around me, one of them would punch me, headbutt me. As this was going on, the guy was looking down at me, asking me questions, and I became convinced that I wasn't going to leave there in one piece. These people, who are the dealers, are treated as dealers by the courts and get extraordinarily long sentences when actually they need rescuing from that exploitation and they need help. There's one particular dealer, if you can call him a dealer. He was a 16-year-old and he was part of this gang that I got into and I was buying regularly off. When I met him, he was 16 and he was actually one of the nicer ones. I could have a laugh with him. He was good fun. He was a bit cheeky. And I saw him change from a fun-loving 16-year-old to a terrifying 17-year-old over the space of 6 months. And the reason he changed, and changed so rapidly, is because the group that he was with made it clear to him how you had to behave to survive in that world. Because by policing drugs, by having undercover cops like me in that marketplace, or police informants in that marketplace, it creates a Darwinian situation where the ones who are successful, who don't get caught, who don't get grassed up, they're the ones who are prepared to be the most ruthless, who can show extreme violence to intimidate people.
Can we get on to why you decided to quit eventually?
Here it is.
Even though I knew
I've seen this interview
harm
before.
to vulnerable people, I justified that harm because I saw it that the end justifies the means. That because I was going to catch these gangsters at the end of the operation, the harm I was going to cause to individuals was justified. For every passing year, the streets got more dangerous. And it got more dangerous because of the presence of people like me in that marketplace. And these people become more violent and they turn it into an art form even. Because that's how you don't get caught. And the harder we police this, the more we sharpen that sword. the more we encourage that brutality by forcing that competition on the streets. But the problem is, police never reduced the size of the market. It actually happened in the 1990s when all of those resources were directed into drugs policing by the Home Office. Twice the resources, twice as many, twice the prison sentences. Prisons filled up. But the market's never reduced. The size of the market never shrinks. So more often than not, especially in our inner cities, successful drugs policing increases violence. I realised I couldn't be in the police anymore. And this conflict, I was also starting to have a breakdown because of my PTSD, a profound sense of guilt for the harm that I'd caused to individuals. I had to get out. And
he mentions in a different video about how he had gone through an undercover thing, he had gotten beat up, all that jazz. They got the guys, and the next day there was already someone filling that space after doing like a year of work in doing this shit or whatever. You know? So anyway, Curtis, tell us what's up.
Better when this trial is over. If only they had more evidence.
Like, that guy is one of those kind of cops that like goes into being a cop as, I want to make the world a better place. I'm going to fix the issues, the violence that I see. Unlike, there are cops that go into it that way. But again, just like the gangs he's describing, it's not like, I'm getting political. He seems like a good guy, you know? I think he realized what he did.
Something happens.
This is
and our
a
witness fails to show,
different
the DA
Curtis.
Won't be able to make it
Hi,
stick,
Abby.
And we're sunk. The mongoose will be back on the street, and I'll have to go back to square one.
Don't be so blue.
He is blue.
Sorry about that.
Are you being racist? Is that
There's
how it works?
Penelope. Ah, isn't she pretty? I just wish she was defending some other client besides Shady Mongoose. Still, I can't seem to get mad at her.
Yeah, well, she didn't mind getting mad at you when you helped arrest the mongoose. What was it she called you, Kurt?
A snake.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, Penelope. You're looking very pretty today.
Bro, simple for someone else.
Oh, hello, Mr. Hiss.
You aren't still upset with me, are you? I kinda hoped you and I could have dinner and talk about things.
What?
You know, like we used to.
No. I mean, yes. What I mean is, no. I'm not still mad at you. And yes, I guess we can have dinner. Oh, Kurt, I'm so sorry we had that little spat.
Me too. How about tomorrow night?
Is this legal? I don't think you could do this. I'm fairly certain you cannot. Because he's a witness in this trial. You cannot have a private meeting with a witness. Ex parte. Yes, that's the term I'm looking for. You cannot have private meetings with witnesses. The other lawyer has to be in the room. This is extremely illegal. Why, Curtis, why are you breaking the law?
Sure. If I'm not tied up, okay?
Curtis might be into that.
Oh, I have to go back to work now. Goodbye, Curtsy Wurtsy.
Goodbye, Penelope Wellope.
Bruh. If you date, no, your lawyer just has to be present on the date. So you don't have to date your lawyer, but you do have to at least cuck him. Legally.
She called me Curtsy Wurtsy.
Is it possible?
He's calling ex parte when, like, you're getting it down in the bedroom. It's like, okay, you can come in, but I'm gonna too. Is there a reason someone's calling me right now? Hello? Hello?
Meds and up to $250 cash back with your Medicare plan. So do you have Medicare Part A and B?
I don't have a house.
I just want to confirm whether you have both Part A and B of Medicare.
I don't have an apartment. Is that what you're saying?
I'm talking to you from Miami, Florida, and we work all across the state and make sure that help is available to everybody as close to their home as possible. So can you confirm if you have Part A and B of Medicare?
I don't. What was that? I've never been to Florida. I don't live in an apartment. I don't live in a house. What do you need?
I hear you. We will revisit this conversation at a time that suits you better.
Never contact me again. That was automated as fuck.
Am I just an imaginator? Could she really care?
That's not a very good bit.
For a true blue snake crusader? It's not fair to jump the gun. Let this get out of hand too fast. But I know that she's the one, and the way we feel will last and last. Kurt is in love, and it's clear she loves me too.
No, she's using you.
Is there room in my life for a different kind of mission? Is there some room for a wife, or am I foolishly wishing
A wishing?
that a special
Dude.
kind of girl will say I do?
This is very noir vibes, yeah.
Kurt, don't get carried away. Penelope is sweet as can be, but you two are on different sides.
Hold on.
Two are on different sides today. Kurt.
Yeah, I think I can clip it where it sounds like sweet ass. We have to listen to this shit song again.
Kurt. Hey, Kurt. Don't get carried away. Penelope is sweet as can be, but you two are on different sides today. Kurt. I say Kurt. Do you think I'm getting through?
No.
Love is okay. I plan to try it someday, but get hold of yourself. We have important work to do. Kurt? Hey, Kurt! Earth calling, Kurt!
Kurt, you can't be doing drugs in the courtroom.
This is just awful. I can't believe it.
What's wrong? Where's the witness?
That's just it. She got scared. Says she won't testify. We're gonna lose this one without that testimony. We should have had more on him. Well, I'll know what to do next time.
What did he mean by that?
I don't know. Look, you go on inside. Maybe things aren't all that bad.
No, it actually is bad. You have no witnesses. You have no proof of this accusation. You're gonna get killed after this. I'm surprised you're not dead already,
I have
Kurt.
to talk to someone. Somebody's just gotta help us with this.
I mean, go talk to it would be witness. It would also be ex
And there is
parte.
simply no case against my client. Here we have a citizen who desires only to be left in peace, to operate a small curio business, an importer of harmless trinkets. A simple businessman is accused of operating a teenage drug ring, of all things. Neither my client nor myself question the honorable intentions of the police department or certain assistants, no matter how cute he may be. However,
What?
we have seen no evidence to link him with any crime. No eyewitness to testify that he is anything more than a legitimate member of the business community. I move for dismissal, Your Honor.
Unless the state has further evidence to offer, I am inclined to accept the motion by the defense. Case dismissed. No, we had him right in our hands.
Real cop reaction. That weasel is fucked looking. I don't like it. Oh, right, the Grim Reaper. I forgot about him.
Trip over one another, and we go free to do as we please. Ha 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 ha! Spread our poison across America.
So this is the place where they're supposed to put the bad guys away. I've got to admit it, it isn't all that scary and wary.
Wait, who's singing?
Who'd have thought I'd get lucky here? Who'd have thought I'd get lucky here? Wouldn't dance to the tune and the piper had to pay. Who'd have thought I'd get lucky here? There's nothing left for me to fear. They took their shot and the law has had its day.
Is this folk punk?
Now step outside.
It needs a
Watch me
banjo.
have my way.
Of course, Mr. Hiss, you can't expect this situation to be resolved overnight. It takes a great deal of time to rid this country of drug pushers. And you must admit, there must be some interest on the part of the public to undertake such a wide-ranging and expensive project.
But the public needs help from those in position of political influence, such as yourself, Mr. Congressman.
I pride myself in being a good watchdog for my constituency, sir. Letters, phone calls, polls, Mr. Hiss. That is my public. Are you aware that a recent poll taken in the community here leads me to believe that the present case against the mongoose may be a product of police harassment?
Oh!
Interest. Show me interest. I receive very few letters demanding tougher drug laws.
But, Mr.
No buts, Mr. Hiss. The polls will tell the tale. I love the polls. That's the American way. Speaking of the polls, I have a fish fry to attend where I plan to deliver a rousing oration on our need to open cable television markets in Iceland.
But, Mr. Congressman...
I think he's supposed to be like shit at his job, but he's paying attention to what people are sending. Like, if we've got to have like the government set up like this, then it seems not that bad. Like, this is like, this part of it is kind of going over like a child's head. Yeah, I agree. Like, this is not gonna... All right. There's one random fucking kid coming in here. And like, he's like, no, I mean, like, write letters, get like some action going. Show me that that's what the people want. He's not being super unreasonable. He's not, I mean, he's kind of mask off here where he's just like, look, I just need good poll numbers. But, you know, it's real at least. I'm going to go brush my teeth and get some water. 2 minutes, BRB. Sorry. My teeth feel crunchy. You know, like when you've eaten something and there's stuff, it fucking sucks. All right, I'm back. 30 seconds left on the clock. A lot of chair streaming today. I mean, really not that much. There was just like the space sounds chair streaming. You know, I try not to step away from the computer while the video is running. It just feels shitty. You know? XQRev. The only like chair streamer that I've been like told about was Hassan. And again, no beef with Hassan aside from the fucker needs to play my game. I sent him a copy of the Communist Manifesto Dami Mami Kami Adventure, and he still hasn't played it. So,
Tut tut, my boy.
same with Pirate Software. I know a lot of people have been like this, that, and the other about his fucking weird. We should watch that. Pirate Software. Wow. Yeah, I don't need to have like, I just want to see like the original video. Yeah, this.
Boss is coming too, watch out.
Yeah. Well, I got shield wall. God damn
Run,
it.
run.
Who the fuck are you? Shut up. Can I get the original one? Wow, clip. Also, apparently he was a furry at some point or another, and that's an issue because his persona is a ferret, and he has a ferret sanctuary, and people are like, what is he doing to those ferrets? He's taking care of them because he has an affinity for ferrets. That's it.
Pirate, why are you walking, bro?
What are you talking about? Why am I walking?
This
Look at
is
my mana.
savage.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think it takes away from the game, and I think it takes away from the experience, and it leads people to be like, "Oh, he could just petri out. This isn't that scary." And to be real with you, some of the best moments that I've had inside of dungeons are because, oh shit, we're all going to die if we don't execute this perfectly, and we hardened up at that moment. We kicked some ass, and we got to live. You know, I've made it all the way to 60 now without dying because of that, because we didn't give up in that.
Boss is coming too, watch out.
Here it is.
Yeah. Well, I got shield wall. God damn it.
Run.
Just run. Can you target dummy?
I can target dummy, yeah. Should I do it?
Just kill the massive. Yeah, target dummy. Kill the massives.
No.
Also, are you fine? Any grenades, anything?
You can just
heal him.
Yeah, you just heal me. Just come back a little bit.
Boss is on me, sitting bear form.
Snuppy, just run.
I can help lot, yeah.
I assume this gives him more mana. I don't know.
What are you talking about? Why am I walking? Look at my mana.
Savageable. Come on, man.
Do you see my mana? What am I supposed to do for you?
Just kill the mastiffs. One shot. Okay, we
more on the way. More on the way.
The mastiffs can be ice novas.
The idea that somehow the mage is going to save you from every scenario is not real. Go back and look at where my mana was during that. There's not shit I could have done.
Welcome to Denver Comic-Con. I'm HB Duran for Video Game News Source, and I'm...
This is the 2016 interview that I don't know why it's a thing. You can't stay Mana Stone, and that's only one part of the... I mean, yeah, that was the original controversy, was like he didn't... So the idea is that, as far as I understand WoW, and I don't, that he was expected to, as a wizard... sorcerer, whatever the fuck that class is his job is to be like a frost mage. He's supposed to slow down the threats so that way everyone else can get away.
Here, guess where? With the games, of course. I'm here with Thor, founder of Pirate Software. How's your show been so far?
It's actually been amazing. It's our first time out here at Denver Comic-Con, and there's so many people, and they love the game.
Is it because his voice is different now? Okay. And then there's false DMCA claim?
Brandon Ferrantino is developing idle streaming bonanza. Play as your favorite content creators like Moki Payne, Asmund Silver, and CQX. It's a streamer drama parody game where you match button prompts, watch the bits drop, and feed the brain rot. Each level's a time capsule of live stream fails' greatest hits. There's Dr. Disrespect's grooming allegations, Pokimane and her expensive cookies make a showing, and XQC being an odd dude, as a reference to XQC being an odd dude. Ferrantino's newest level referenced another big streamer named Pirate Software. Now for context, Pirate Software is a developer, hacker, gamer person who runs a ferret rescue, encourages people to get into game development, and boasts an impressive resume.
This is actually his voice, okay.
Its glory days to hacking for the United States Department of Energy. As far as nerds go, he's seen as the cream of the crop. But some of that cream's dissolved due to, well, it depends on who you ask, I suppose. Some don't like how he appeals to his own authority or misrepresents arguments when he's in the wrong.
Okay.
Others don't like how he doubles, triples, or even quadruples down when he's in the wrong. And some don't like the double standards he applies to himself and others when he's in the wrong. It's not the being in the wrong that people don't seem to like. It's how he mishandles it, and how these events clash with his wizened role model persona people have come to know him for. That's why I stress at every opportunity that I am a scumbag and manages expectations. The event Ferrantino chose to immortalize in his game referenced the hardcore World of Warcraft raid drama, where Pirate Software abandoned his team, referred to as roaching out, and was later removed for his behavior following the incident. The level is called Irate Hardware. A wizard-hatted cockroach squirms in a gaming chair, and a voice line from Pirate Software's stream can be heard.
As much as you're angry right now, of course I ran.
Ferrantino then posted a clip of his game to the livestream fails subreddit titled "He Put Pirate Software Drama in His Indie Game." In turn, Pirate Software issued a DMCA takedown notice to Valve. This developer is using clips of my voice without my permission. As displayed on the developer's livestream, my voice is being used in this game. The developer does not have the right to use my voice. He included a link to the Twitch clip. The game was taken down. Plot twist, the Steam version of the game didn't actually have Pirate Software's voice in it. The Twitch clip was of the developer's personal build, not the marketplace build. Ferrantino filed a counter notice to get his game reinstated. He also sent a support ticket to Pirate Software and his team directly to tell them his voice was not in the game, and he asked for the DMCA takedown notice to be withdrawn. Mid-livestream, Pirate Software spoke about receiving the counter notice and expressed his intent to sue the developer.
Hey, Kronos, we have to file a legal complaint against that dude earlier. I'm gonna pause this for a moment. There was a dude earlier today that went onto Reddit and said that he was using my voice in a video game, showed a bunch of videos of it, and then put that game up on Steam. A lot of people in the thread told him not to do that, that would end up being a legal problem for him. He did it anyway. So I filed a DMCA claim, and he has now filed a counterclaim.
Okay,
against me.
like...
We're going to take you to...
First off, you can copyright your own content. So he is right that you could copyright claim this, but I think that you could argue that this is fair use and it could be brought to court, but that is a legal defense, not a right. So, like, he has the right to do this, but what the fuck is wrong with you that you would do that? It wasn't actually in the game, which is the other bit. Like, let's say for a minute that it was in the donos are the content. I mean, yeah, I guess. Yeah, it's let's pretend for a minute that it was in the game, because that's the reality that he's working under. I assume he thinks that that's real. We're going to take him at his word that he believes that this was in the game. And honestly, I could understand that. Like, that you would want to, like, go and... If you saw that, you would assume it would be in the actual game. But it is just because it is a legal thing that he can do. He gets into it. Okay.
The court, you're going to lose. You cannot use.
I don't agree with his choice.
Voice in any way inside of your game.
He's try-standing this hard. He could have let this go. If he let this go, it would be like, who's even heard of this shit game that he's talking about that this person's making? Like, who's heard of it? Like, if no one's talking about it, no one's heard it, and you don't do anything, it'll go away. Maybe just send an email, be like, hey man, can you not, man? It's not even false advertising. It's like a Reddit post of like, this is like a thing that I'm gonna do. And people are like, maybe you shouldn't put that in the game. And the person goes, oh, okay, I shouldn't. Yeah, that's the other thing is if anyone else did this to anyone else, like if this happened to me and I was the one that was doing this, Pirate Software would probably be in defense of the dev, not me.
Thing to do, incredibly so. So I'm going to send this over to Kronos now.
I think if you just said, look, like when it comes to the WoW thing, I don't know WoW well enough, but I think going and saying like, look, I didn't have mana. I couldn't have done the thing. I'm really sorry. There was nothing I could do. And then when people later go, what about the mana gem? Be like, fuck, I screwed up. Like, I'm so goddamn sorry, guys. I just wasn't thinking. I thought I was out of mana. Because then you could even save him being like an asshole there. I think that he's had a bit of a habit of being egocentric for a while, yeah. Just literally just admit that you're wrong. You know how far you can get in this industry by just admitting you're wrong when you fuck up? A lot. Because people want that. They want you to be honest and be like, I fucked up. You don't double down on some stuff.
No, because he is a lawyer in copyright law. That is his job. Mistake. Kronos, we have 14 days to respond to this.
I think that when you gotta just admit when you're wrong, man. Bro didn't even read the notice.
Forwarded. Welcome to the finding out timeline, bud.
Brandon Ferrantino responded in a YouTube video and reiterated he did nothing unlawful on Steam.
I showed one video of a possible build or a concept and put it on Reddit. The game, that concept or what's on my machine was not on Reddit. There's no build of him ever on Reddit or on Steam. There's no data in my game of him on Steam. There's no active build with him on it. So he's chasing fucking ghosts.
Unfortunately for Pirate Software, it's a case of being confidently wrong. In America, we have very strong free speech laws. It's the First Amendment, for God's sake. This is not as cut and dry as you can't use someone's likeness or voice without permission. Although that does get spread around a lot, but you'd think people on the internet who use Twitch and YouTube would see Twitch and YouTube as enough evidence that there's more nuance to the matter.
Yeah.
You have to consider fair use defenses and good faith activities by alleged copyright infringers. This was upheld in the Lens versus Universal Music Court trial, in which a woman was hit with a DMCA takedown notice for using 29 seconds of bad audio from a Prince song in a baby video. The final ruling on that matter: copyright holders cannot shirk their duty to consider, in good faith and prior to sending a takedown notification, whether allegedly infringing material constitutes fair use, a use which the DMCA plainly contemplates as authorized by the law.
Is the name of his
Pirate
game.
Software did not consider fair use. He didn't even play the demo. If he had, he would have known his voice was not in the Steam Marketplace.
I can understand why he didn't earn. Like, I understand why he didn't play the game. If someone made a game shitting on me, I probably wouldn't play it either. That just seems like bad brain energy, you know? But, like,
Therefore, he sent an unlawful DMCA takedown notice, and that opens him up to be sued. I asked Mr. Ferrantino if he
But you
asked
would want to
Pirate
look
Software or
into
Kronos
it.
if they played
He's still
the
in the
game.
wrong.
He said that
Let me put it this way. Legally, Pirate Software might have a actual argument here. That being said, what the fuck is wrong with him for doing that? You know, once again, he's reactionary and stubborn. Yes. Like, I think people, when I say legally someone has the right to do this, is maybe not the same thing, especially when it comes from my mouth. You know? Like, maybe I'm not saying the law's in the right. It clearly isn't, because this is a weird fucking situation if that actually does go in his favor.
They responded that's neither here nor there. It's very much here and there, because beyond the existence of a perceived infringement, you have to consider what's the nature of the work, critique, review, education, etc. Is it transformative enough? How much was used?
It's parody.
41 seconds, by the way. How important is what was used? Does it have an impact on original market value? Is it misappropriating his likeness for an advertisement? It's not as plain cut as, you used my voice, I didn't say you could, now I can sue you. Now keep in mind, I'm not a free speech defense lawyer out of Connecticut that steps in from time to time to help content creators pro bono when their freedom of speech is being impeded, but Mario is, and he says Pirate Software's false DMCA takedown notice of idle streaming bonanza was unlawful. I spoke with him. Mario happened upon Ferrantino's video talking about the false claim, and did not like that someone with a large and impressionable audience was spreading free speech misinformation. He also did not appreciate the
apparently
lawsuit
is
bully
like having
tactics.
issues
I
with
quote,
bleed out.
It pissed me right the fuck off. So Mario reached out to Brandon Ferrantino and took him on as a client free of charge. He made a formal demand to Pirate Software's team to withdraw the DMCA takedown notice within 24 hours, and it seems to have worked because the game is back on the Steam Marketplace.
Good.
There is some charity that can be given to Pirate Software. He is a big streamer, and big streamers rely on their mod team to keep things running smoothly, so it's possible he relied on secondhand information in good faith and thought his voice was actually in the game. I reached out to Pirate Software and Kronos for comment on January 24th
I legit believe
and 25th,
that, yeah.
respectively. I will update the article in the Substack if and when either responds. The only thing left currently is seeing if things end here between Pirate Software and the developer. There are consequences for false DMCA takedown notices, but Brandon Ferrantino and Mario would have to actively pursue it in court. Ultimately, in these cases, the court fees tend to outweigh the damages, so who knows where this ends up. The two have said they will release a formal statement in about 2 weeks.
Why does XQC not have
Thank you for reading,
eyes?
listening, watching. Have a nice day.
It's horrifying, but why does... What is this?
Ladies and gentlemen, one of the biggest creators in all of creatordom has been lying about something to do with EVE Online. And I have firsthand knowledge to tell you what that lie is.
Sure.
What actually happened. I am talking, of course, about someone you might recognize. Yep, this is Pirate Software. Also
Yeah, we know
known
that
to the
because
EVE
that's the name of the
community
video.
as Maldavius. Okay, we're going to talk about what's happened, what actually happened, and why this kind of stuff hurts the majority of EVE players. This kind of lies being said and purported. We're going to talk about it, okay? So
we were Triglavians, triangle people.
Okay.
Right? Aliens. And this is a faction inside of the game. We decided as players to align ourselves with this, and we moved all over the game for about 1 year, traveling around with no home.
Y'all want to see less of this shit? This immediately reeks of gossip bullshit. Like, is it legit just like he did something shitty in a video game? Because, like, I know that, like, apparently he used to troll real fucking hard in Second Life. But who cares? Yeah, the way he was presenting his information was like, whatever.
Speak to my associates in the legislature. If it appears that the members of the public are standing up in court and at the polls, why, we'll be happy to look into this little matter for you. Did I happen to mention I just love the polls? Blah, 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 blah.
But, Mr. Congress,
Yeah, I feel like a lot of this is just dogpiling on him. Like, the ferret thing, like, oh, he's a furry, right? It's like, okay. What year is this, man? Like, why do we care that he's a furry? You know? I don't give a shit. He did something shitty in EVE Online, I guess. Did he steal someone's actual credit card information in a way that is not legit? What's his son? He's a ferret, I guess. According to an investigation that someone did, and it's just like, I was waiting for the other shoe to drop where it was like, and in the furry community, he was into like diaper furs or something fucked up, right? No, he's just a furry. Like, as far as I know, like, that's it. Like, did he pay for all his art? Like, what's the fucking problem, man? I saw the E video. It's just him bitching about how game mechanics pissed him off. I don't agree with his take on... I don't like the way that he holds himself. I guess I'll say that. Like, I don't care for the way that Pirate Software treats other people. When they address him with an issue. But he does some nice charity work for ferrets. He gives a lot of people inspiration for video games. I don't think I want to interact with him. But I will say this, and I will not forgive him for this. He still has not played the Communist Manifesto Dami Mami Kami Adventure on stream.
But the mongoose should be there tonight. Kurt, are you listening to me?
You're on Block Wars with him, though?
Boy, you sure have been acting
Have I?
funny since you got back from the Capitol.
Huh? What?
Yeah. Now listen. I think I know how we
I don't think he's a baby fur.
on the mongoose.
I have no evidence that he's a baby fur.
That he has been planning a major drug deal in the next day or two.
I did. Wait, no, I was on a team with him once, right? I think I was on a team with him very early on. Yeah. Hold up. No, he was on someone else's. Where is he? Yeah, he was with Simple Flips and Mysticat. Yeah. We lost this one.
An old warehouse down by the river for storage of a load of trinkets from South America.
Trinkets. Sure. Here's what we'll do. We'll stake out the building until he shows up.
I'm sorry?
If he's meeting someone there, or if he's using it to hide his stash, we can find out.
And if we catch him in the act, we can put him out of commission for sure. Let's go.
Oh my god, he's gonna get himself fucking killed.
You are going to catch yourself, Mr. Mongoose. We aren't going to let you slip away.
I wasn't on the same team as Vinny when he was on, but yeah. I'm really excited for Curtis to get shot in a back alley.
This is probably the best place to wait. We can see the entrance to the building and up and down the street, too.
Yeah.
Vinny was in Block Wars for one. Yeah.
Shh. Will you be quiet? You want someone to hear us?
Okay, okay. Don't be so touchy.
Psst. Look. Is it Mongoose? Is he going inside?
No, it's not Mongoose. It's
Penelope.
There are times, are there not, when it takes poison to catch a rat? The end justifies the means, right? Besides, who cares? how we get these hooligans off the street. All I have to do is put these bags in the right place. Then I can put the cuffs on Mr. Mongoose and send him to the pokey. This time.
Wait, what is this noir shit? Why is Curtis... What?
We'll have the evidence. Now let me see.
This is same series, but we didn't watch this one before.
No, it wouldn't be right doing this through the mails. That would be against the law. The law. That's my bag, so to speak. There was a time I vowed to uphold the law. It seems harder to do all the time, it seems. If they can ignore the law and spread their poison, why can't I spread poison too? If it's used to catch them, right?
Curtis, how are you going to explain this?
Is he really going to plant evidence?
What's a good cop to do?
Not this.
When they slip through your fingers and skip out on you. When the system ain't working, order goes down the tube. The slipping they skip, what's a good cop to do? It's a moral dilemma.
It's not. You just don't do that.
Cause we all are spread so thin. Should a cop think of crossing and being dishonest? You should slip and skip with them. No, what's a good cop to do? When they slip through your fingers and skip out on you, a cop can't think of crossing and being dishonest. I just won't slip and skip with them. What's a good cop to do?
Not plant evidence.
What's a good cop to do?
Would you have sabotaged the guy who sued you for damaging his car? I didn't. There's your answer.
We knew you wouldn't do anything wrong. Besides, there must be a better way. Why don't we get with the district attorney? He's probably willing to organize a sting operation. That will be on the up and up, and it will get the mongoose good.
Also, Penelope, aren't you supposed to be meeting up with...
What do you think you're doing?
Buying drugs from the cops?
Look, don't get excited. This isn't what it looks like. Well, it is what it looks like, but there's nothing wrong with it. It isn't what you think.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with spying. My client is no longer under scrutiny, so you can stop scrutinizing him.
Yeah, honestly. Fuck off.
You're on your own here.
Penelope, if you'll let me explain, we can prove that Mongoose is a drug dealer. He sells dope to kids, and it's ruining their lives. We know he has something big planned, and it might just be coming down right here.
The only plans that are coming down here are yours, Mr. Hiss. I am aware of your crusading nature, but you are being misled in this case. I would never defend Mongie if I thought him capable of such atrocious behavior.
But Penelope...
But nothing.
This is gonna turn into NTR?
Stop harassing my client. If I see you around here without a warrant, I'll press charges. You snake.
Oh, but you're a snake too.
I am not a snake.
She's not the witness. She was the lawyer both times.
And I promise you, I will put a major squeeze on your activities.
A crusader's
Happy Lunar New Year, everyone. Yeah.
What a crusader's gotta do.
Crusader? Is that what the C on your sweater stands for? I used to think it stood
No, it stands for something else that I can't
now
say.
I know better. It means creep. You crummy, cruddy creep. You are a cad, Kurt. And from now on, I'm giving you the cold shoulder.
Penelope!
Creep!
That is one stubborn anaconda.
Bitch.
Fortunately for you, I came by to drop off these papers, or that silly blue snake and his friends might still be out there spying on you. Anyway, as soon as I get your signature, I'll be on my way. How is business? You don't appear to have much stock.
I'm expecting a new shipment of curios real soon. Real soon, maybe even tonight.
Tonight? You must do business with a 24-hour trinket trader.
Yeah, right. Go ahead and look around while I read the stuff you brought. I'll just put these in here.
Why?
She can walk right past anyone who might be out there watching. After she's safely down the street, I can snatch it away.
What?
What was that?
I'm planting evidence in your briefcase.
Kurt was right. You are a pusher. I'm calling the police. What are you doing?
Oh, it's foreshadowing. She is tied up tonight.
While I go about business.
And naked. That's actually really fucked up. What?
Good, good.
She was wearing clothes a minute ago.
Much more than I bargained for on this night. In less than an hour, you retire. Have a nice life.
Don't the ropes have to be read for that? Is that a fucking bomb?
Help! Kurt! Anybody help! Mungie, I'll get you for this. You get right back in here and untie me. Help! Help!
Not necessarily. I've only ever seen the ropes be read for that.
Crawling, creepy cad. You creep! Oh, Kurt. I'm so sorry I didn't listen to you.
Why would anyone be around to do anything about
you,
this?
And now it looks like the gag's on me.
Yeah, you're gonna die.
I could be here with you at a nice restaurant tonight.
Yep.
But instead, I'm here. And in a little while, I'll be over there. And over there. And over there.
When that thing goes boom, I'll be all over the room. When will I learn just who I can trust?
When that thing goes boom, I'll be all over the room.
Will I find just the set of mind to believe what my heart has known to be, that the snake in love with me? Tell me true. Oh, Kurt, why couldn't I believe in you?
Well, because he's kind of a bitch.
We only bickered once or twice. Sometimes
No, you
I talk too much to hear. When that thing goes boom, I'll be all over the room. When will I learn just who I can trust?
I see. So he has to wear her clothes to make it look like he's not. Yeah, this is for kids.
She shouldn't be walking around alone in this neighborhood. I'll keep an eye on her until she's safely home.
Yeah, you're gonna stalk her home? This is very normal of you.
Where's that partner of yours? Wasn't he supposed to meet us here?
That was the
I
plan.
think that he's Irish, maybe French.
There he goes. Way down the street. He may be onto something. Let's catch up.
This looks dangerous.
It's a playground.
Penelope, watch out.
Hold it right there. You have seen too much for your own good, Mr. Assistant Crusader. Now you know our secret, but you will be keeping it a secret for a very long time.
Floaty gets murked?
With Floaty out for a swim and Penelope blown up in the warehouse, we will only have 2 more dudes.
I feel like blowing someone up is a lot.
That will be harder than you think.
Does he have a gun? Also, where the fuck are the cops? Why is there only one for this entire town?
Boy, it's good we didn't stick around. We could have been blown up.
Should I tell him? Yeah. Kurt?
Yeah, you should.
There's
What?
someone inside the warehouse, tied up.
Now, who would be silly enough to get tied up in a warehouse where a bomb is about to go off?
What?
If I'm not tied up, okay?
Penelope, are you saying Penelope's in danger?
Yeah.
Big time.
Oh.
Oh, it's like a
I caught this one, but the others got away. I got
Billy
a good
Club?
look at them, and there will be an APB sent out as soon as we get back to the station house. They'll be in custody soon. Where's Kurt? Kurt, what are you, son?
Oh,
Stop
good luck
ticking.
on your raise.
Please, be reasonable. Now, you don't want to blow up, do you? If I have to listen to that one more tick-tock, I'm simply gonna explode!
Is
I
that
didn't mean that.
the issue?
I really didn't mean that. Oh, Kurt!
Oh, Penelope. Here, let me get these ropes off of you. Are you all right? Did they hurt you? We have to promise not to argue anymore.
The bomb, Kurt!
Oh, yeah, right, the bomb.
Throw it out that window into the river. Good shot, Kurt. Right into the river.
Yeah, she's naked because he took her clothes to go undercover or pretend.
Assault, kidnapping, possession, trafficking. We made them all stick this time. Congratulations. You'll be putting him away.
Yes, and I did it without having to stoop to this punk's level. Of course, it's the result of all of us working together. Thank you, Kurt. You make my job easier. I wish everyone was as active in cleaning up the drugs.
I'm sorry, officer. When you were there, understanding that he was using the warehouse for that, what were you doing there? The previous court case had ended, so why were you back?
Problem as you are.
Don't be so smug. I'll be out on a technicality before you know it.
The loophole hasn't been invented that you can slip through on this one. Face it, you're being squeezed out.
That sentence makes it worthwhile for now, but...
Yeah, I know what you're about to say, but we can't let up. We need to work even harder for tougher laws and enforcement.
We have to be aggressive citizens. Our lawmakers have to be shown that we mean business. If they won't give us better security against the dealers...
Why are you
then
naked
we'll
in the
work toward
courtroom,
election
girl?
of leaders who will.
I heard that, Kurt.
It's time I left. See you later.
You are right. Kurt, you've come so far. Kurt Hiss would be a perfect candidate for office. You have my vote.
Thanks, Penelope. But I think our present leaders deserve one more chance. Come on, let's go see our congressman.
What?
Yes, the sentencing of the mongoose is a major step. But as I said before, one inquiry just isn't enough to act on. I received a letter today from Mr. Floaty. That is wonderful, but it takes more. Lots more. Yes, that should just about do it. Secretary, get my aides and my law books and get me out of here!
Great bit.
This is all very gratifying. Thank you. The spread of drugs and alcohol must be stopped. It's a disease that threatens us in every community and every walk of life. Our young people are being infected and taking this infection into the schools and the playgrounds. It has to stop.
Okay.
Fortunately, there is a cure. By reaffirming our faith in God and by becoming better educated about the hazards of this plague called drugs, we can take the first big steps in combating it. Our leaders can and will help us, but they need to know our resolve. Parents, call or write your lawmakers. Start petitions in the neighborhood. Kids, start petitions in your schools. Help Officer Patrick, Floaty, and me in our crusade against drugs and alcohol.
Everyone, be a clean machine.
So he's a God-fearing crusader that has not gone historically very well.
Strain on your heart. They can turn your brain to mush and tear your body all apart. Don't take up
Oh,
the
right, he
habit, show
raps.
your body you care. Be a clean machine.
Be a clean machine.
A clean machine.
Be a clean machine. Drugs bring on depression, make you mentally ill. You could become a thief and liar, and what's worse, drugs kill. Do your life a great big favor, show the world that you care. Be a clean machine.
Be a clean machine.
A clean machine.
Do I have to?
It could cost a
That has nothing to do with what we're listening or reading right now. Ego, can we not on it right now?
Don't do drugs.
The flag?
Stay straight.
How many stars does it have? I didn't count. I wanted to not see Kurt. Too bad. A-cab. I am aware of this streamer. I do not know her that well. Chibidoki? Also, welcome by, Kaiser.
Hi guys, this is the Shut up! I want Mooney! Shut up!
Okay. Watch as much of this as you can. Okay, Orthogonal has added captions for us.
Все бегаешь, сынок, носишься как угорелый.
Ну, конечно, ведь я же улитка. Ты посмотри, сколько во мне энергии. Я молод и горяч.
Все сишь-горишь. Да, а я в твое время работал.
А где ты работал, папа?
Стекла мыл.
А мама сказала, что ты в аквариуме со стенок какашки ел.
Микромир, 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 наш веселый микромир.
They're not bees, they're snails sitting on stumps. They just don't have really shells.
Что у нас сегодня на обед? Слизь. Ура, слизь.
Слизь.
А на ужин?
Слизь, слизь.
Ура, слизь, слизь.
Сына,
Да, мама.
отнеси бабушке пирожки со слизью. Одна нога здесь.
Стоп, мама, но ведь у меня всего же одна нога.
Все правильно. Я и говорю, одна нога здесь. Я просто проверяю, что ты здесь.
Микромир, 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 одноногий микромир.
Родители улитки. А почему у меня нет братиков?
Потому что неподалеку живет еж.
Злой?
Нет, добрый, только голодный.
Может быть, тебе, сынок, пора найти девушку?
Так я уже нашел, а ее из домика не выпускают.
Родители?
Не-а, крепежно-присосочный хрящ.
Микромир, 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 Андрей Губин, наш кумир.
Папуся, покажи утесова.
What?
Утесова? Да. Ну, слушай.
The idea is that like she carries her house with her because she's a snail, and that's funny, I guess.
Ведь ты слизнёк, сынка, а это значит, что ты такой же, как и папка, размазняк. Ведь ты слизнёк, сынка, слизнёк не плачет, а лишь теряет каплю слизи иногда.
So they're slugs, not snails?
Хорошо, что дедушка этого всего не видел.
А где наш дедушка?
Улетел на небко.
А как?
В цапле.
Папа,
Oh, they're
да?
snails.
А почему мы на себе наш домик носим?
Yeah, no, there are snails.
Тяжело
Okay.
и неудобно.
Зато он у нас есть. И мы эту ипотеку в гробу видали.
Аларм, аларм, еж.
О, бежим. Ура, бежим. Мы так далеко не убежим. Давайте как люди.
Давайте.
Oh.
The development of Inscription started with a game jam project made by indie developer Daniel Mullins. Back in 2018, right when Daniel was done with his second game, The Hex, a popular game jam known as Ludum Dare was about to take place.
Lumen Dare? You've...
Daniel's love for rapid game development is no secret, as The Hex and his previous game, Pony Island, were both heavily inspired by some of his earlier game jam projects. Naturally, he was excited to participate in the 43rd edition
Oh,
of
I
Ludum
played through
Dare,
Inscription.
the
I
theme
love the fuck out of Inscription. It is such a good game.
that year was Sacrifices Must Be Made, and it immediately reminded Daniel of the popular card game Magic the Gathering, which he had recently started playing again. Some of the mechanics of Magic the Gathering involve sacrificing cards to gain advantages, and this sparked an idea for Daniel. What if he created a card game where sacrifices were central to the gameplay? He envisioned a concept where players would have to sacrifice weaker animal cards, like squirrels, in order to summon stronger creatures such as wolves to tip the scales in their favor and secure victory. With only 48 hours to complete the project, not a lot of planning went into the core rules and design choices of the game. The tug-of-war victory condition, the cabin in the
it looks
woods,
pretty
the sacrifice
close.
mechanic, the evil forest demon sitting across the player, and the lane-based combat were all developed on the fly. Daniel's experience with various collectible card games, which he'd been exposed to growing up,
I should
gave him an
probably try
instinctive
Netrunner at some
understanding of
point.
what makes them fun and interesting. As he began piecing the game together, Daniel pushed the concept of sacrificing even further by by exploring darker, more imaginative ideas. What if the player had to sacrifice their own
What's
body
Netrunner?
parts
Another
during the
card game.
If you cut out your eye, you wouldn't be able to see half of the playing field. If you cut off your hand, how would you continue playing? These unsettling questions began to expand the gameplay and atmosphere, making the game more unique and scary. Daniel used Photoshop to design the cards, while Unity served as a game engine. These two tools later became the primary ones used during the development of Inscription. After 2 intense days of development, everything came together to form a fun, straightforward card game with a deeply sinister undertone. So sinister, in fact, that Daniel believes the ending is potentially darker than anything that happens in Inscription. He named the project after the Game Jam's theme, Sacrifices Must Be Made.
I haven't played Sacrifices Must Be
It
Made.
received lots of positive feedback and was voted the second best title of the Ludum Dare Game Jam. When Daniel made it available to the public on itch.io, where people can still download it today, the game received another wave of positive comments and became its most downloaded itch.io title by far. It was clear that Sacrifices Must Be Made had great potential, but he was unsure how it could be expanded upon to become its next big multi-year project. Initially, Daniel didn't see a way to expand his creepy card game, so his first idea was to make it part of an anthology. He envisioned a trilogy of smaller games, with Sacrifices Must Be Made as the first chapter.
Yeah, a short
Daniel
game is
called
good.
this
I like
project the Carnelian
that it's not
Box,
super long.
inspired by Valve's The Orange Box. He compared the first game to Portal, as it introduced something new for him, a card game, a genre he hadn't explored before. For the second game, he toyed with the idea of creating a sequel to his previous game, The Hex, similar to how Half-Life 2 was featured in The Orange Box. The third game would have been his equivalent of Team Fortress 2, featuring a competitive online component. Before we move on, I'd like to talk about this video's sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is the first 500 people for your creativity. Was focused on fleshing out his first game of his anthology series. While Sacrifices Must Be Made had a small but compelling story, he felt it wouldn't be substantial enough as something that's part of a trilogy. Daniel eventually came up with the idea of giving players a chance to escape from the evil forest demon by gradually collecting items like running shoes, a flashlight, and other survival tools. Players would achieve this by getting up from the card table to explore the
I didn't
cabin
quite
they were trapped
understand
in.
it, orthogonal, I
Once enough puzzles
guess.
in the cabin were solved and
Like
the
how
necessary
was
items collected,
fun?
players could attempt to flee the cabin while the demon chased them. They would need to jump over obstacles in the forest in hopes of obtaining freedom.
Thank you
During
for the
this stage of
translation. I
development,
know
the game
about
was
sponsor
known as
block,
That
but
Card
like,
Cabin.
I was watching
For
a
the
thing the other day where they were joking about sponsors and shit, and it legitimately would have fucked over that video. I'm fine to skip the sponsors myself. I prefer that because sometimes they make funny jokes. Sometimes the sponsor is actually good. It was very. I honestly have no idea of what was happening. I didn't quite get it, I think. Orthogonal. I don't have advertisement brain. I'm just going to skip it over. It adds a prompt. Let me put it to you this way. This is a thing that I would rather just do myself rather than try and do, through an automated thing.
Gameplay, Daniel used
I'm
Slay
fine with
Spire
doing
as a
it.
foundation. While he intended to experiment with more unconventional gameplay mechanics, he
Some
knew he
people
could
do
always
have
rely
funny
on Slay the
sponsorship
Spire's
bits.
formula of
Or it's
procedurally
part of
generated
the
maps
actual
with
video.
alternating card picking and card battles, if his experiments didn't pan out. Hearthstone also served as an inspiration, as Daniel considers it as the first digital card game that felt truly exciting to play, largely due to its dynamic animations and satisfying screen shake effects. While the compact story of his Game Jam project was effective, it felt natural for Daniel to expand on it for That Card Cabin and introduce more lore. He realized that the creepy eyes representing the evil forest demon wouldn't be enough to maintain the player's interest the entire
That's fair.
game. There needed to be something or someone behind those eyes. Searching for inspiration, Daniel began googling forest demon. That's when he discovered Leshy, a forest deity from Slavic pagan mythology. After coming across a uniquely haunting painting of Leshy, Daniel knew this figure had to be the game's antagonist. To make the overall story more interesting, Daniel wanted to introduce a mystery for the player to gradually unravel, much like in his previous 2 games. He began adding elements like talking cards that ask for help, strange nonsensical dialogue, and objects in the cabin that seemed to serve no purpose. The funny thing was, Daniel himself had no idea what any of it meant. He was simply writing cryptic dialogue in the hopes that a larger idea would eventually come to him. Before iterating further on gameplay and story ideas, Daniel wanted to finalize the game's art style. He had learned from his experience with the Hex, where the art style remained in flux for a long time, making development more complicated.
Yeah, the art
than
style for that
necessary.
one's kind of
Determined
awful,
to
I'll be
avoid
real.
this with that card cabin, Daniel prioritized locking in the visual style early. Since 3D modeling wasn't his expertise, he knew he would have to rely on a freelance artist to create a lot of the game's assets. He wasn't sure yet if he would be able to work with the same artist throughout development. Therefore, to avoid potential conflicts between different 3D artist styles, Daniel decided it would be best to establish a cohesive art style using shaders and post-processing effects.
The Hex is ugly, but it works for the type of game it is. That has been definitely keeping me off of it.
He also wanted to retain the retro aesthetic of Sacrifices Must Be Made while expanding it to better accommodate 3D objects. To explore the visual style he had in mind, Daniel created a mood board featuring games that captured the essence he was aiming for. Around this time, he was also talking to a friend who was working on an indie game titled Brass Bellow, which uses post-processing effects to transform high-resolution 3D objects into pixel art versions of themselves. Inspired by early versions of that game, Daniel began experimenting with similar effects. He reduced his screen resolution by half, from 1080p to a 960 by 540 canvas. This not only created a visually striking aesthetic, but also helped mask minor imperfections, such as misaligned textures, normal maps that don't match up in some spots, or less defined shadows. After layering on additional effects, Daniel was satisfied with the overall look. However, he wanted shadows to be even darker, enveloping the entire screen. Daniel's first approach involved using a simple posterization effect combined with a color palette created by one of his friends who has a strong sense of color. The effect forced every pixel to snap to this color palette. While Daniel loved the palette, it caused issues like color banding on brighter parts of the game's assets. Despite this, he was impressed by how the shadows turned out and looked for a compromise. He reached out to Tomasz Tobierski, who developed a shader that checks the brightness of each pixel. The brighter the pixel, the less it locks to the color palette. This solution maintained the dark shadows while preserving enough gradation for finer details.
Thank you for doing the translation for us, though, Orthogonal.
He continued using the color palette to influence elements like lighting and textures. Once everything was set up and working as Daniel envisioned, it felt like he had unlocked a superpower. He could now take assets he found online, sometimes even for free, drop them into the game without any alterations, and they would automatically match the retro aesthetic.
That's
To
great.
test this, he asked his friends to identify which assets were custom made for the game and which were downloaded from the internet. Most of the time, they couldn't tell. Whether a 3D object originally looked realistic or stylized didn't matter. The post-processing effects made everything conform seamlessly to the game's art style. You might think this approach would limit Daniel's creative freedom, as he couldn't add smaller details to the 3D models, for instance. However, as he mentioned in a GDC talk, the opposite was true. This method allowed him to compose scenes incredibly quickly and instantly determine whether they looked right for the game. For example, when he combined candlesticks with a skull to test how it would look in the game, it took only minutes to see the final result. According to Daniel, working with an artist to achieve the same outcome would have taken days or even weeks. That being said, Daniel still relied heavily on talented artists like David Hageman, the game's main 3D artist, to create tons of custom assets, including characters, props, and more. These custom assets were even more effective because David designed them with the game's post-processing effects in mind. For instance, he added deep creases to Leshy's mask so they would pick up shadows more dramatically and look better when lit. This attention to detail ensured that the assets not only fit the game's aesthetic, but were enhanced by the visual effects. To better immerse the player and create an unsettling atmosphere, Daniel chose to stick with the first-person perspective used in Sacrifices Must Be Made. To push that immersion even further, he decided to eliminate any visible UI elements from the screen. Instead, he implemented diegetic solutions, meaning that everything communicated to the player exists within the game world itself. For example, the scales track the damage taken and dealt, the bell is used to end a turn, totems display their effect on certain cards, and available items are shown on the table. While Daniel was ultimately very happy with the final iteration of the art style, the first-person perspective, and diegetic elements, it did introduce several challenges that required creative solutions. One of the biggest issues was maintaining the readability of the cards. In digital card games like Hearthstone, the UI consists of many elements, and a clear bird's-eye view is typically used to display everything on the table. However, Daniel's choice of a first-person perspective meant that everything had to be really big and clear, especially if it was farther away. Even then, the low resolution caused by the post-processing effects made it difficult to see finer details such as small text. This raised a key question: how would Daniel communicate the card attributes and effects to the player? In physical card games like Magic the Gathering, long text boxes are often necessary to explain complex effects, as players must manually carry out the instructions. Digital card games, however, streamline this by having the computer handle the exact mechanics, so cards only need to convey the general idea of what will happen. In Daniel's case, though, even a small text box was simply not readable. To address this, he came up with the idea of using sigils to represent a card's ability.
Keywords are huge. Yeah, I would really rather for No Fish, when we get back to that I hook into this, because once you learn what the symbol means, you don't have to like, I think, okay, random Warhammer moment, keywords are huge. The difference between 8th and 9th edition versus 10th edition, where like they use keywords, is just like great, you know? Like, it makes so much sense, because it's just like, if you want to change the way an effect works, if it's too powerful in one case, it's going to be too powerful in all cases. For example, there was a effect called Agent of Chaos. There are a bunch of different versions of it, but they ended up settling on making one version and giving it to all of the different characters who had this ability. Used to be all the time, everywhere, your abilities cost one more, which means that like it could be very legitimately annoying to fight that army, especially if that guy was able to hide in the very back where you couldn't get hit. And it wasn't like a once per game in a lot of cases. It was like that stratagem for the rest of the game costs one more. This sucked, but it's unrelated. My point is that like by having keywords, you can fix problems so much easier. Yeah, the overly long text boxes in Yu-Gi-Oh! Are a really solid example of keywords solve problems. There's times where you don't need to have, and also you will fuck up the wording once in one of those times. And rules lawyers love to exploit that random difference in it, or they get upset when it doesn't work the way they expect it to.
Keywords. Way to communicate the effects. To help players
symbols are even better than keywords.
Means, Daniel created a rulebook that could be consulted at any time, allowing for longer descriptions to remain accessible. However, he wanted the sigil descriptions to live in the player's mind. To achieve this, he used a multi-pronged approach. When a card is first introduced, Leshy provides some flavor text, often in the form of a metaphor, to explain the card's ability. When depicting the sigils, Daniel avoided using things like numbers and arrows to depict what a card does, and instead tied the visual representation into Leshy's metaphor. From his experience playing many board games, Daniel knew that literal depictions could become confusing when multiple symbols with numbers and arrows were involved, making the cards feel cluttered. As an example, the sigil for the Stinky effect is represented by a pile of poo with stink lines, a simple and memorable visual. Finding the right difficulty was also a significant challenge. Some playtesters took 20 hours to defeat Leshy, while others breezed through it in just 2 hours.
Wingspan is apparently very good. I've never gotten around to playing it.
Daniel looked for ways to modulate the difficulty, ensuring that players who found the game too easy would face more obstacles, while those who struggled could eventually overcome it. He kept tweaking the difficulty right up to the end of development. In late 2019, Daniel started playing the Pokemon trading card game for Game Boy Color on his 2DS. Although he had played it as a child, revisiting it years later as a game developer, he was impressed by how the creators had managed to translate such a complex card game onto a small pixelated screen. Around the same time, he was also playing Shovel Knight, King of Cards. This combination of pixel art games charmed Daniel to such an extent that he now wanted to make a pixel art version of his own game. He felt that this might be the key to unlocking the mystery he was trying to tell in the game and could help drive the story forward. This line of thinking sparked a flood of ideas, more than enough to expand that card cabin into a full standalone game. As a result, Daniel abandoned the idea of creating a trilogy of anthology games. Although he briefly considered keeping the title That Card Cabin, he ultimately decided to change it to Inscription. The following year was all about developing the second part of Inscription. In addition to transforming his game into a pixel art version of itself, Daniel saw this as an exciting opportunity to introduce more opponents. This led to the creation of the 4 scribes, inspired by Pokemon gym leaders. If Leshy's type was Wilderness, what would the other 3 specialize in? Daniel eventually settled on a robot, an undead character, and a wizard. He admits he's not entirely sure why those choices felt right, but those classic tropes just resonated with him at the time. With Part 2, Daniel aimed to instill 2 formative game experiences from his younger years. The first was something he felt while playing The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time for the first time. He vividly remembers thinking the game would reach its conclusion when young Link pulled out the Master Sword, only to discover that this moment was just the beginning of a much larger adventure. A feeling of awe came over him, shattering all his expectations for what was about to come next. The second experience came from playing card games during his university years.
I haven't played Love Letter.
Played a lot of
I've
Magic
seen
the Gathering,
Keyforge
but
played.
occasionally one of them would introduce
It
a
seems
new card
very,
game, similar to Magic, but different in key ways.
I don't like the central
They love
conceit of
cracking
it.
open these new games and using their Magic knowledge.
So Keyforge, for those of you who have not played it, if I recall correctly, you would buy decks outright, pre-made decks, and then the cards would be randomly generated and then put into the packs. So you could get cards that were just busted. But after a certain number of like reported wins, the deck basically becomes useless and you can no longer use it. So you have to buy a new deck. So fuck that. I don't like that.
Knowledge and terminology to figure them out. Daniel wanted to give players of Inscription a similar experience. This is why, in Part 2, players must assemble their card decks from scratch, and why they can now crack open card packs. Given Daniel's previous 2 games, he feels there are certain expectations to create something that doesn't just play it straight. In fact, he believes fans would be disappointed if his games turn out to be exactly what they appeared on the surface. The sudden switch from 3D to 2D was a surprising twist he needed to subvert typical game expectations and keep players on their toes. The third and final part of Inscription returns to the more familiar card gameplay, but in a new 3D setting. Here, the player faces off against one of the other scribes, known as PO3. For a brief moment, Daniel considered giving the remaining 2 scribes a larger role in the game.
The problem with like pre-made, okay, so like I would look at honestly Warhammer Kill Team for that, Spicy Lad, because like, or I guess more like Combat Patrol. Yeah, Combat Patrol might be a better way to do it. So Warhammer 40k has this sub-game mode called Combat Patrol, which is like essentially 500 points, right? But you don't get to choose what those 500 points are. You buy a Combat Patrol box, and that changes the like here, hold on. Warhammer Combat Patrol. So you buy one of these Combat Patrol boxes. They're all like 170 bucks, which is Jesus fuck, you know. You buy one of these and this is your army. You don't get to change it. This is what you get to play with. You can also use these as models to expand your 40k collection, so you could go on from there. Like you buy this one and then you go, okay, actually, no, I want to get some like tanks and shit too, or whatever. This creates just, after a while, people who are hardcore about the game will just go, this one's the best one, so I'm going to ignore all the other options. You know? It's, you know.
Development constraint. I liked the idea of going back to 3D after the 2D part, and it made sense to have another of the scribes take over, but I just didn't think people had the stomach for 3 more different
Dominion's
3D
good.
sections, and I wasn't sure if I did either. I didn't know if I wanted to push this game another year or 2 years to make them. So what
Dominion's solid. That might be a good way to do it. A deck builder.
Events, even if they
like a
didn't get
deck
as
building
much
game
screen
where it's
time.
like there's like you buy the box, and that is the thing that everyone plays with. And there are expansions for it, but like you just add those to a central deck that everyone gets to play with. With Dominion, it's like 1v1, and you try and build out your hand based on what you've got. It's pretty fucking good. Instead of boosters, it's like, and every game you like start off with a certain hand and all that.
Like Remora is the one at the end, obviously spoilers, triggers the deletion of the game, so I guess she has one of the most consequential roles in the story, but her and Magnificus, I just didn't have the will to do a full 3D part for either of them. With a clear vision of the beginning, middle, and end of Inscription, Daniel still felt that something was missing. The spooky cabin, the pixel art world, and the futuristic factory all felt so different from each other that he thought there needed to be a quote-unquote tortilla to wrap up this burrito of gameplay sections. That's when he came up with the idea of adding a meta-narrative layer told through live-action video. This addition would deepen the mystery, raise the stakes, and tie everything together into a cohesive story. He began talking to actors in late 2020, but didn't start filming until 2021, the same year the game was released. While Daniel had some experience directing amateur films in high school, it didn't prepare him to be a director on a set of his own creation and working with professional actors. Fun fact, Daniel's favorite character is a nameless NPC that the community nicknamed Goobert. Originally, Goobert was meant to play only a small role in Part 2. The idea was that Magnificus tortures his students with ridiculous tests, and Goobert's test was to be turned into goo and live like that for a while. However, both the beta testers and Daniel himself liked Goobert so much that Daniel asked his friend Sean Caremaker to design a 3D version of the character and suggested putting him in a bottle. This led to Goobert making his way into Part 1 and Part 3 as well. Composer Jonah Senzel provided the soundtrack for Inscription, as he had done for Pony Island and The Hex. It was important for each part of the game to have its own distinctive sound palette and identity, while still maintaining a consistent tone of creepiness and otherworldliness.
I kind of want to like go work on my game some more here in a minute, but
track to give him
it's
an
so
idea
slow.
of the mood he was aiming for. But beyond that, Jonah was given the freedom and time to experiment. Sometimes, when Daniel was stuck designing an area, he would ask Jonah to compose a short track to inspire him and help him finish it. This collaborative process kept their working relationship both fun and challenging. While composing tracks for Part 2, Pokemon was a major influence. Jonah received the Lavender Town theme as a reference, aiming to capture its vibe, which he described as quote-unquote unsettling and weird, yet kind of satisfying and cozy. It's not horror, but there's an odd, melancholy creepiness. The final year of development was an extremely busy period for Daniel. Development on Part 3 didn't even begin until early 2021, and at the same time he was shooting, directing, and editing all the live-action scenes. He also started talks with Devolver Digital to see if they were interested in publishing the game. Once they officially became partners, Daniel gained access to professional QA testers and a talented team that produced high-quality trailers. This partnership also made console ports a reality. After
I mean, that's such a cool thing. I wouldn't mind working with them.
Released in October 2021,
I don't have the
and was met with critical acclaim. Polygon even named it
I don't
their
have
best
Yandere
game of
Dev's
2021.
ego.
Unsurprisingly, it was nominated for
someone with an
numerous
actual
awards and won
gameplay
several,
development
including Game
studio
of the
like
Year at the Game
Devolver
Developers Choice Awards,
or Tiny
and
Build
every
comes to me
category
and they're
it was
like, hey,
nominated for
we
at
can help you with the
Independent
game.
Games Festival Awards.
I'd
In
probably take them up on it,
2022,
depending on what the
Daniel
money
released a
split
free update
is.
featuring a mini expansion called Casey's Mod. This mode allows players
As long as
to
I get to
enjoy
be
the
in
card
control
game
and be
from
like,
Part
hey,
1
this is what I
endlessly,
want to have
something
happen.
fans had been requesting since the game's release. The expansion includes new challenges, cards, abilities.
He
and even
had a
expands the
publisher
overall
via Tiny Build, and like he just wouldn't let them do their job. Like, I'm just gonna be like, look, this is what I was going for. My code's bad. Can you make it do that but good? You know? And I'm sure most competent coders could look at what I've done and go, yeah, all right. You know? I mean, I could even sit them down and just play the actual fucking version that has been sitting on my desk for a while. You know?
Story. As of this video's release, Daniel is working on Pony Island 2, Panda Circus. Described as a phantasmagorical voyage through time, myth, divinity, and video games, this may be Daniel's wildest project yet. Interestingly, after Inscription's release, Daniel mentioned in an interview with Digitally Downloaded that he had noticed recurring patterns in his work, such as untrustworthy
finish
characters
Yandere
who
Dev's
speak
shit
directly to the
either.
player, characters who are aware they are in a video game, and intentional glitches and bugs. However, he hopes his approach to game development continues to evolve over time, and that his future work reflects this growth. Pony Island 2 might therefore offer something very different from what we've come to expect from a Daniel Mullins game. I, for one, am looking forward to it.
Honestly, no twist would be a very big twist. Yeah, there's nothing left for Yandere Dev. He's got too much of an ego to keep it going.
Do you believe in Bigfoot?
I believe in him,
No?
yes.
Well, don't worry. You don't have to be a believer to audition for my next original musical, Bigfoot, Big Heart.
Okay.
Before auditions begin, I would like to introduce the characters in this production. Please note that some character vocal ranges may change, as not all the demos have been recorded. However, they are likely to stay relatively close to what I will list here.
All right.
Our main character is Daisy Greenwood. She's very trusting and kind and works as a therapist. She likes to
Is that really how it's done? They go like the range that you need to be talking is in this range? God damn, okay.
Woods of Boone, North Carolina. Her approximate range is G#3 to C5. I'm looking for a bright, expressive voice to play
That's
Daisy.
probably more for singing. Yeah.
Our next biggest character is obviously Bigfoot. Bigfoot may not be human, but he has a lot of feelings us humans can relate to. He enjoys people
Can I reach that
and
range?
observing nature.
5?
His approximate range is G.
What was it? I don't think so. I'm going to be real. Was it C5? G#3 to, okay, hold on. Let's just boot up Fruity Loops. G#3 and C5. Pattern, please. Replace it with just a regular piano, if you will. Right. Okay. It's all right. Like a little bit more of a basic one if we can. I think Harmless has one that's like pretty basic. Oh, that's pretty basic. No? Okay. I know there's like a... What am I looking for? It's not that. Good. All right, so it's G#. So that was C there. Well, G3 to C5. G#3. It's not that high, actually. Or... I don't know how to imagine this as a speaking voice. Yeah, here, hold up. Let me show you like this. So if I bust out my tuner right now, it says that I'm currently speaking around like B3. So like somewhere down. So this is actually kind of closer to my vocal range. If I go really high, then I can go up to 4. Yeah, so like she goes like almost a full octave above where I can go. But that's like stretching the limits of her voice. Hits that C5. So her vocal range is somewhere around mine, which is okay, sure.
I'm looking for a bright, expressive voice to play Daisy. Our next biggest character is obviously Bigfoot.
I mean, the lower
Bigfoot
end is
may
probably
not
not
be human,
the
but
average
he has a lot of
range.
feelings us humans can relate to. He enjoys people watching and observing nature. His approximate range is G♯2 to G4. I'm looking for a slightly darker voice for Bigfoot, but still carrying a lot of emotion. Next, I would like you to meet Park Ranger Bosch. Mr. Bosch is a very caring individual, especially towards nature. His duty is to protect the wildlife and forests of Boone. His approximate range is D♯3 to G4, and I'm looking for a bright, friendly voice to play him. Now, Ranger Bosch only has one enemy, and that's Garrett Thorne, the most notorious hunter in Boone.
That's Vinny with a beard. That's Vinny with a beard and like 200 pounds. I'm going to go turn on the light for my wife and take a quick piss. 1 minute 30. BRB. All right, I'm back, and I have news. When I was pissing, right? I was gonna pull out my phone to see like where my range, like how the low end was, but instead of doing that, my mic started picking up on my piss. So if you want to know, my piss is at G4, which is right here. That's what my piss sounds like. This is the piss note. It had little like bounces up and down as well. So it'd be a bit like that. That's D2. So my range is from, what was the top end of this? Top end is up here. G4? So like G4, the piss note, down to D2. Which is definitely a range. A little bit bigger of a range. I mean, yeah, it largely depends on the acoustics of the... So yeah, it's my range. Piss.
Garrett doesn't like to follow the rules, hunting out of season mainly. He's very judgmental and frankly just an asshole, showing no care for the world around him. His approximate range is B flat 2 to D4, and I'm looking for a dark and rough voice to play him. Next, I will introduce Daisy's best friend, Vanessa Drake.
I usually don't speak that low.
Vanessa is very worried about Daisy hiking and camping alone. She is very protective of her friend. Her range is G#3 to B4. I'm looking for a neutral toned voice to play her. Then there's Garrett's friends.
What is this, by the way?
Wade and Eddie. Buck is the kind of guy who knows everything about everyone in town. Wade is kind of the voice of reason in most situations, and Eddie is Wade's cousin, visiting from out of town. He is definitely the himbo of the group. Their approximate ranges are as follows. Buck, D#3 to E4. Wade, D3 to B3. And Eddie, G3 to G4. We also have a female bartender who has to listen to Garrett and his friends all night. Her approximate range is G3 to G4. Finally, there's the Mountain Muses. They act as an ensemble for this musical.
Okay,
There's
so it
tenor,
is a musical.
alto, and soprano. I'll probably accept about 2 people per voice part, and I'm looking for a mix of voices to play them. Okay, so to audition, you have to do a few things. First, visit the Drive folder in the description.
So this is an
Here you will
actual
find a form to fill out.
call.
To do that, you must copy the form to your Drive and
that
edit
does
it
make
there.
sense that that's the vocal
Do not
range.
request to edit the blank copy. If Google Drive is a little confusing, feel free to just copy and paste the contents of the form into your own document instead. Once you've filled out the form,
This is from the
start an
Discord
email
thread
to
for some reason.
sequencetrash@gmail.com and paste in a share link. Make sure the document share settings are anyone with the link can view, or else I won't be able to see it. If you have any trouble with the link, you can also just copy and paste the
I think they
contents of the
wanted you to
form directly
audition.
into the
I
email
do
if that
not
works
think
for you.
I want to sing in a
Go
musical.
back to the folder and choose which character you'd like to audition for. You can do multiple if you want. To record, you can either sing with a track or just count it out with a metronome. But when you submit, you must delete the track so that it is just your voice and nothing else. No metronome in the background, please. And make sure it's dry, so no effects like reverb or echo. Export as MP3, WAV, or M4A, whatever your digital audio workspace can do.
Did you hear the stupid shit that EA just pulled? No.
Name the file, your
It's not
name,
inappropriate or
Bigfoot
anything. Yeah,
audition,
I
and
wonder
attach
why
it
this
to the
was
email you started earlier.
put here.
When you have everything, go ahead.
Let me
and
go
send
to the
email
Discord
with
real
the
quick and see if I can
subject,
find
your
to
name,
recommend to
Bigfoot
this. We might
audition.
have more context
the
in
current
there.
deadline is February 10th. Okay, so this is a large production, but what happens to the people who inevitably don't make it? Well, I've created this thing called the talent pool, where I can store auditions of people that I liked, even if they don't make the final cut. Basically, it'll be a big
They added
Google
de
Drive
novo?
folder
Okay.
with subfolders for each person in the pool.
Big
I'll save your audition
foot.
form and any recordings you've sent me, along with some notes. For future projects, I will hold auditions, but during that time, I will also look through the talent pool to see if there's anyone that may fit some of the roles. If you're in the pool, I may reach out, offering to advance you straight to a callback for a certain character. You can decline being added to the pool in the audition form, but if you change your mind, just contact me. Same goes for if you accept and would like to be removed. Okay, now for artist information. If you're just a voice actor and want to hear about payment, skip to this timestamp. If you would like to help out with art, the process is similar, but instead of sending audio, you send pictures of your work. I'll need to see 3 to 4 finished pieces, as well as any animatics or animations you have done in the past. It's easiest to just attach a Google Drive folder to your application email. I accept traditional and digital art, but traditional art must be clean, and you have to have a way to photograph it without shadows. The easiest way is honestly to lay them out on the ground on a cloudy day and take bird's eye pictures with your phone, then crop them. Here are some pieces I've done that with. As you can see, there are no shadows. If you don't get clouds often enough, another option is scanning, but sometimes you lose fine details if you don't have the right settings. Play around a bit to see what works for you. Now let's talk about payment. Okay, now that I've gotten your attention, I would like to make my humble offer. I want to be very transparent that I am a single person with one part-time job, so I can't pay a lot. Previously, I've offered $5 per minute of final recorded material for voice actors. And well, I haven't worked with paid artists yet, so I will negotiate that with you all when you get here. Just know that you will be paid something. How much depends on the length of the song and complexity of the artwork, as well as punctuality. So, with all that
Have
said,
you done
I wish you all
anything
good luck,
before?
and I look forward to see your auditions and applications.
Like, no shade if you haven't.
What?
But, like... Goth knows what he's doing. Okay, I'm starting to get into the range of things that look right. Inscription. They uploaded a lot of things, and I don't know why they've sent it.
Si no sabías, está lloviendo. ¿No, Tina? Está lloviendo un poco. Ya
Poor
para
little baby.
I watch my daughter over the breakfast table the following morning.
It might be Twingmaster just saying, like, hey, maybe do more singing stuff on stream. Maybe it's just pro singing and making me sing rather than specifically being a part of that.
She appears on the surface to be normal enough, but I know for a fact that this cannot be true because she did not exist last night. And perhaps the signs of something unnatural are there after all. Is that peculiar rhythmic way she's eating her cornflakes normal for a child her age? Scooping up the milk, slurping it, returning the spoon to the bowl with most of the cornflakes still attached. Why is she spending so long staring at the packet? And that song she's humming, what is that? It doesn't sound random, it must have come from somewhere. My daughter realizes I'm looking at her. Either misunderstanding or willfully mocking my bewilderment, she begins to play peekaboo with me, slowly ducking her head beneath the parapet of the cornflakes, so that I'm staring at the cartoon mask of a cereal-loving cowboy, and then peering up at me over the top, emerging like a crocodile from primordial mangrove swamps. First her eyes, and then her nose, and then her wicked grin. It suddenly occurs to me that my entire body is tensed, my marmalade-coated knife in my hand, ready to leap out and lash out, or else to upend the table and dash from this apartment and go running out again into the Escovian night. Because I'm expecting something to change. My daughter will raise her head over the top of the cornflakes packet, and her face will no longer be her face, but some grinning and empty mask, chalk white with oozing, oily eyes, the diabolical hollowness of her true nature revealed.
You all right?
But she just keeps pulling the same grin, playing the same game, making the same motions, over and over again.
I mean...
And I know she must be some hideous glitch or mutation of Askew, because there is no creature in this or any other reality that could find satisfaction and humour in playing peekaboo so many times. Quickly, I snatch up the cereal packet, removing it instantly from the equation and affording my daughter no further hiding place from which to menace me, and pour myself a bowl of cornflakes. Checkmate, you little monster. Lucia seems to find my action and my stony expression amusing, because she begins to giggle from behind her hands like a babbling brook, loudly and endlessly enough that Allegra stops in from the hallway and says, curiously, "Having fun in there?" Oh yes, we're having fun. How could we not be?
That's weird. What the fuck? It feels a little bit like, yeah. Kind of one of those, like, I mean, that was a horror story, I guess. I'm in Askew is great. What? Like, where'd you get that child? That's weird. Living with paranoid delusions moment. Millennial parents are fucking weird. Listen, we went through some shit. We're not okay. And it turns out our kids are not okay as well. Turns out joking about suicide and death so often rubs off on kids, and they don't end up being all right either. We should stop that, honestly. I registered it as horror because it's like, who is this child? A child that you don't know. I guess surreal works as well. Oh no, she's getting hit by a car? Jesus, man. Okay. Sure. Well done. That was sweet, even though I think it was supposed to be horror. What is this? Gallagher's 2000s. This is a... Am I alright to watch this? UFO portal! Hey, it's that guy from Timmy Wiseau's failed...
Gallagher's 2000. It's out of this world.
Okay.
once was a woman whose body was cursed.
Okay.
If she dare bear a child, it will die before birth.
Okay.
Through madness he crept, the monster of dark. He promised a child to ease the woman's heart. A daughter at last, she wept with joy, not knowing once she was just his toy.
All right.
My mama, she's dead. She said I was a monster.
Okay.
I was alone now, but I saw a tall man, and I wanted to be his friend. Hello, I'm Lazari. He held my hand and took me away.
Wait, is this the actual plot of the Slenderman game? Is that like Slender Man with Slender Family Man?
Jack, are you eating on my couch?
No.
Is that...
Nice.
Holy shit!
I didn't mean to. Please, don't leave me too.
Ow.
Isn't it Jeff the killer?
She
Definitely not human.
bit me.
It's okay.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Eyeless Jack? I'm not aware of Eyeless Jack, but okay.
Hang on, Jack. Let me help.
That is when you tell them to go to sleep.
There's Jeff.
Then you... The fuck?
Hi!
Lulu, please stop saying hi to everyone.
Don't get too close.
Jack?
She bites. Slender thinks she only bites monsters like you and me.
Oh?
Well, Jeff isn't a monster.
Alright,
He's
guys,
just
we'll be back soon.
got bleach damage and burned his skin off or whatever.
How beautiful.
I'm good. We're gonna move on. Yeah, Jeff was a monster in the non-literal sense. Shadowrun always seemed like something I would fuck with, but never got into. Because it's just like... What is it? It's like a D&D alternative set in like... I think it's kind of, I mean, like this kind of grimy nightlife New York thing, but like there's gangs and there's magic and stuff. It seems like a cool choice. I don't know enough about it to be able to hello? Hello? What's up, Abby? Your mom should be home soon. Yeah. Well, she's not home yet, I noticed. So there's that. Yeah, okay. Light cyberpunk. Yeah, it's been a while since I've...
Sally, watch our butts.
Sledge, the box. Break it. Bust it up.
It looks plastic? Yeah. Hi. I don't know as if a game like Dragon or Shadowrun would go well.
I'll take him out.
No, too noisy. Sal, can you drop him? Him? No problem.
Oh, who goes there? Just what are you doing? She did it, come on. You okay?
I'll be fine.
Let's go.
I love that. She just sort of like runway model stances at him and he dies. Ooh, that's a tag.
Sledge, another box, please.
They don't look like they're on there that good. Hi. Is that a keyboard on her shoulder? Yeah, she needs it, obviously. For this bit. You're the #1 ornamental hermit streamer? Good. Yes. Yes, I noticed this, Abby. Grab. Pet. Come here. Grab. Baby. Oh, you're a cold bean. Someone's cold. You just sit in my lap and be warmed. I'll toast you. Nobody told Rev he's the #1 artist on Twitch? What? God, no. What a baby. Did I spell artist wrong?
It's over. Let's get out of here now.
I mean, as far as I understand what Shadowrun's about, that's the vibes. I guess that's how you do a commercial for a board game or a D&D, like, is you just go, this is what it is. Vibes.
What's up, true art believers? Happy Saturday. It is Art Vlog. It's Vloggy.
Hey, it's your boy
Art Vlog,
Silas.
114, man.
Hold up.
Today I'm just going to...
I see what you've done here. It's clever. Luckily, I didn't have it on screen. If you can't answer this, your story is trash. Okay. Well, too bad then. YouTube studio. Oh, right, it is over on that. There we are. Go to chat. Oh, that person immediately got banned by automated system. Oh, okay. Well, there's that.
Continue what I'm doing. Nothing changes. Just the same thing, different day.
Is this... Who is this? Matt Pearson. Okay, cool.
You know, it's the same thing, a different day, man. I'm kind of boring, dude. I'm really boring.
Yeah. I see you, Abby.
Actually, honestly, no, I'm not boring. I'm very interesting. I'm very... in order to be interesting, you got to be interested. So I'm very interesting. No, as far as like just doing things, I'm just kind of like a robot, or I try to be like a robot.
You know, okay, I'm gonna say something right now. Sometimes I worry in my arcades that I'm just saying like nonsense. or like that it's not actually that helpful as far as information goes. Turns out you can speak more nonsense than me. Where are you going with this?
But it feels like if you want to get good at anything or just be successful at anything or be proficient
This is not
at
Butch
something,
Hartman, right?
you almost have to be...
Right? Because this is Matt Pearson. I don't know who that is, but it's not Butch Hartman. It's very few views. Let's just see what he's saying. Maybe he's got a good point in here.
Like a robot. You almost have to just do the thing.
Elmer Hartman?
That you want to do, but you don't always want to do it, right? You just have to do that thing and do it every day and do it whether you like to do it or not. That's usually what it feels like. It feels like when you do these, you have to. It just feels like you have to be a robot. That's all it really does. Like every like video or every entrepreneur, every successful person, or every person that has been good at something, they just do that thing, do it every day, forever. You know, I had a friend. No, he's not had, not past tense. I have a friend, amazing drummer, and I remember when I was a kid, this dude, I would come over to his house, wanting to hang out, wanting to like do something fun, you know, do what kids want to do, and I could hear him like blocks away because he was drumming, he was practicing drumming, and
I'm having a hard time figuring out what he's drawing right now.
He would just, for hours on end, he would just drum.
Abby.
He would drum in the morning, or he would drum after school. He would drum whenever he could. He would drum as much as he could. Phenomenal drummer. Like,
can you see her?
If you could put a tag or
Abby.
a label on talent, I think he
Abigail.
was it. Because he just was unnaturally good.
I love you.
At the get-go.
I love you a lot.
With drumming. Like, he just understood that instrument really well. And I remember he would just be he would be drumming all day long, man. And the only time he was not drumming is when he was probably doing like schoolwork or hanging out with his friends, but he would only hang out with his friends until like he did his X amount of drumming. I don't know how long he drummed. He drained. No, I don't know how long he would drum, but I know he would drum a lot. And I was super impressed by it because it wasn't just like he was good from drumming. He was good before that, but even with that
you put in enough
innate,
practice, you get good at things.
Talent or gift, he would nurture it and he would continue drumming. You know, he would continue doing it, even though he was better than the average person his age. He was just a great musician.
Yeah, that's because he liked it.
You know,
that's good.
You know, he used it to get the chicks. No, he probably did. I don't know.
A drummer? No,
really
drummers.
Good. Really.
I don't know as if drumming is the thing that gets. Nah, it's pretty much just lead guitarist, and it goes like singer, lead guitarist, rhythm guitar, maybe drums, bass player. Yeah. Like, I'm not sure, like, and you would think that drummers would get, like, they're the most physical, so they would be, like, you know, the most physically fit, they would be the most attractive, but no. There are people that find background characters hot. Yeah, I know. I'm aware. Where's the triangle guy on this list? He's above all the rest.
Good. And
yeah,
he didn't get there by just, you know, like, oh, I'm good enough. I'm better than people my age. I'm good. I'll just stop drumming. No, he would just drum like obsessively. And that's really what it boils down to, is you have to do the things that you want to get better at obsessively with anything. If you want to be like,
Okay.
if you want to be have a successful entrepreneur, like, successful job, a successful anything, or to want to be skilled at anything, you have to do it. And you almost can't do it like, you almost can't do it part-time. You almost have to dedicate.
I can't figure out what he's drawing either, because I can't figure out where he's starting his drawing. It's the red, but
is really what it's all about. It's not like,
I mean, he's being very economical.
It's the cumulative hours that compound through years or days, weeks, months, years that add up. That's really what it boils
yeah, I
down
think
to.
he's drawing clothes for the guy.
Right now, I'm just drawing. I'm working on this George Bridgman's Constructive Anatomy, and I really didn't get much done. I just kind of started the underdrawing, and I was gonna draw with it in pen, red pen, and I'm gonna go over it with blue or black pen. I don't know. Maybe blue pen. But that's it for the day. I just wanted to kind of talk about that stuff. I gotta keep it short. I have so much laundry to do. I still got laundry to do. I've been doing laundry all day long. Oh my gosh. Anyways, yeah, it's been fun. It's been real.
Click the link.
It's been real fun.
I can't.
All right, you all rock. Cheers.
Also, Abby's done. Do stuff. Get good. Sure. Why is Trixie Tang from Fairly Odd Parents there? Probably because he was just trying to, like, I don't know, master copies real. Butch Hartman didn't draw that shit half the time anyway. Do stuff. You can't expect to get good at stuff unless if you do it. Agreed. I personally believe that, like, you know, you should chase whatever your thing is that you want doggedly. No steps back, only steps forward. You know, work towards your goal, whatever that happens to be, and keep on it. It's not going to be easy. It's going to suck 95% of the time. Oh, this is that beer thing.
Good morning, John. So I have heard that some people have what they call an internal monologue, a constant string of words that runs through their minds, almost as if all of their thoughts are had in words. And yes, I'm being kind of tongue-in-cheek here because I realized that I don't have an internal monologue because I kept seeing people saying, apparently some people don't have internal monologues. But I think I'm the normal one, but actually I know I'm not, and we'll get to why later. But first, I feel like I have to explain because people will then ask me how I think if I don't have an internal monologue, and it took me a while to sort of get to the bottom of how to describe this. But I think in thoughts. Like when a thought becomes necessary, it sort of floats into my consciousness, and then it might bump around with some other thoughts, and they might even interact with each other and then make new thoughts. Like when I think of you, I don't think of the words John Green. I think of John Green, the bubble. That is the things about you. Honestly, you're a bunch of bubbles. You're not one thing. You're like a bunch of things that all kind of stick together in the shape of a John Green. Maybe let's do a better example. Imagine the idea of an internal monologue. I don't have those words. I just have the thing that it represents. And it's just like a sticky bubble. And then that sticky bubble might attract toward it the idea of a fantasia, the way that some people can't picture images in their minds. And maybe they will briefly come together and be an idea where maybe someone who has a fantasia might be more or less likely to have an inner monologue, and it would be interesting to know which one of those it is or if it's neither. Those thoughts will come together.
I don't know if I have an internal monologue or not. When it is necessary for me to think in words, I do, I guess. But generally speaking, it is more conceptual. I can somewhat picture things in my mind. Let's go back to like his little chart there and figure out where I'm at.
Thing that it represents, and it's just like a sticky bubble. And then that sticky bubble might attract toward it the idea.
Like sometimes I need to have like a thought line go through, and then I'll have different people. Like sometimes I'll make up versions of myself or other people and bounce those ideas off of them. So it's like, who should I talk to about this? And then like that person, like, I bounce ideas off of them, maybe, or whatever.
Of a Fantasia.
I would say like somewhere in the 3 to 4 range is what I can achieve when thinking to myself. So I have a internal dialogue / no internal monologue or whatever.
The way that some people can't picture images in their minds. And maybe they will briefly come together and be an idea where maybe someone who has aphantasia might be more or less likely to have an inner monologue, and it would be interesting to know which one of those it is, or if it's neither. Those thoughts will come together in the way that I just described it, but without the words that I just used to describe them. I do experience the words, though, when I start thinking about how I'm going to write them down or say them to someone else. At that point, I kind of do have an internal monologue, I guess, like a bunch of words that are conveying the thought to me before I convey them to someone else. And that seems real. It seems like thinking.
When I use words, when I talk, I don't think about the words as words. I just know what I'm going to be saying as I'm saying it. Or before I say it. Depending. It's really fucky.
The thought just feels a little less efficient than thinking the thought. It's work for me to say all the words.
I'll have like an internal therapist sometimes. I have an internal like there are cast of characters that I will like old friends and such that I feel like did things right in XYZ. And I'm like, what would they think about this situation that I'm in? And like, am I right? And it's like trying to think outside of myself by thinking about, yeah, I think I have like no internal monologue, but an internal dialogue sometimes.
But maybe if you have an
I got fellas up here. They're all my own thoughts, obviously, but it is interesting to think about like what they would think in order to like, you got a little bit of.
I can remember having an internal monologue. In high school and college, I remember having thoughts that were just strings of words running through my head all the time, and there was never a time when there wasn't words in there, and I find it very bizarre that it isn't just that like different people think differently. I think differently than I used to. Minds are so strange. I'm obsessed. And the wild thing is how little thinking about the thinking parts actually tells you. You would think that the thing thinking about itself could uncover some clear truths about the thinking, and that a consciousness would be good at figuring out what a consciousness is. And yet, to my brain, to myself, I know who I am. I'm the Hank bubble. I'm all the ideas I have about myself and all of the stories I've told about me, and that narrative pulls a bunch of stuff together, but I don't actually know if that stuff is actually related or is me. Like when it comes to consciousness, I love the metaphor of attention being a flashlight, that I shine on objects in reality or in situations in my mind or ideas I would like to contemplate. And like maybe I'm the flashlight, maybe I am my attention, but also maybe I'm the thing that is experiencing what the flashlight is showing me. And is that a different thing? But also maybe I'm the hand that holds the flashlight, deciding what it gets pointed at. But also, maybe I am the thing that grabs hold of that flashlight and forces it to focus on things that I'd rather not look at right now as I'm trying to get back to sleep in the mornings. But I also feel like I am my physical body.
I can imagine sounds in my head. I have like a light amount of synesthesia that certain things will trigger very specific like stuff. I remember in Splatoon, the first one. The first time I streamed it, I was like, I'm getting synesthesia off of like the paint, that I can smell that this is cheap craft paint. But I don't know if that's technically synesthesia or not. Or if it's just I have a strong enough imagination that I can connect that shit. But I know what that blue paint smells like.
And the experiences that I have from it. I think that these are all definitely different things, and kind of all of them seem separate from the story
This is on the Wii U.
I tell myself about who I am, or that story, that brain bubble of who I am, sort of ties.
You
all
think
of these
that
things
water
together.
tastes round? It is absolutely insane to me that that does not make sense. Like, it doesn't have. It just is smooth. That's part of what it is. It's this. Mike is wrong. Thank you. Yeah, I think synesthesia is more like. I knew a guy who could do math via synesthesia. That he could be like, oh, it's 42 times 5? Okay, well, I just mix blue and red paint and I'll get the answer. And it makes purple. And the correct answer is, you know, whatever. As a result of it being purple. Right? Hello! Like, if 42 is red and 5 is blue, and you mix those colors, his synesthesia was to the point that he could go 210. Because is synesthesia a branch of autism? No, it's like your brain just like the so he could just do math by mixing colors. It was wild. Could he show his work? Yeah. But it was weird. No, not all liquids taste round.
Into one idea.
Also,
of
wife
me.
is
And
home.
It's weird because like my idea of me actually doesn't feel like the part of me that makes me focus on worries is me, because I can't control it. But maybe that actually makes it more me. It's definitely a part of me. Meanwhile, the part of me that seems sometimes able to control the flashlight, that does seem like
Don't make us end on. I think we should probably end on this
I
one.
tell myself about who I am. That includes my body and my memories and my experiences. I actually don't think any of these things are the same things. I think I tie them together because that makes sense. I create a bunch of patterns in my brain that are the thoughts of who I am. And I certainly don't have an internal monologue.
How many did we get through today? Not that many, and that's my fault.
Hard. Like people they can't think just in internal monologues. How would you think about yourself? You're too big for that. I've just been thinking lately that like all of these different things that I just mentioned, there's a long list, might actually be different things. And they're all different me's that are collaborating with each other, despite not even being that familiar with each other's existence and only being sort of held together loosely by a bunch of work my brain is doing to try and recognize patterns where they aren't necessarily even there. I think that, like much of life, I might just be a collection of whatever works. And like sometimes whatever works doesn't work that well. Anyways, I'm fine. I mean, I'm not 100% fine. I've been better. I'm fine physically. We're getting through it. John, I'll see you on Tuesday. I feel like now whenever I tell people I'm not doing well, I have to be like, but I don't have cancer. Hey, we're over here now. How did we get over here? I don't know, but we're going to go to complexly.store right now where you can get the Complexly calendar for 30% off.
Huh. Yeah, no, it's interesting. You can. The other thing I say about synesthesia is I know that the lead singer for Tool has it because of hard drug use. So if you want it, that's an option. I wouldn't recommend that though, because you might die. Oh, okay.
Since the beginning.
Okay, this is a long video. Why don't we save this one for next time? Synesthesia, it's SYN. Good luck from there. Let me check and see if there's any art. Check Rev Fart on Blue Skeet. Nothing there yet. And then let me check on the Boru. I don't see any new rev farts. Sorry, I still call it the Boru. I'm just used to it after several years of doing that. I probably had the Boru not be a part of my life longer than not. What was I gonna say? No, that's about it. There is an art on the Boru that I have not seen. We should probably raid someone, yeah. Let's see who's live. Andre is live. And Limes is live, and Snuffy is live. I do not know Snuffy that well. I know Snuffy parasocially in a way that is uncomfortable for me. I am aware of their existence. Oh, Andre's singing. Let's go raid him. All right. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you next time, which is tomorrow. I want to point out my wife's birthday is on Monday. That means that I'm going to be shifting my day off, so that way I have off on Monday because I want to spend that time with my wife. There's that. Early happy birth to Tilda. Yes. So it's going to be a we'll stream this weekend. And then I'm going to skip out on streaming on Monday and Tuesday, and then on Wednesday I'll be back. Sound good? All right, I will see you guys tomorrow. Brr.